internet cafe or toilet at your private moment, you help yourself. So let's turn around here. This is actually what we call the cord line. All these except the pink one, because the warrior likes these feminine looks, so he put some pink one there. It's not my look. So this is what we call cord line. Have you seen a cord line before in Australia? Yeah. In Brisbane I've seen a lot of them. I grew up in Australia, and of course I've seen a lot of these. Cord line is actually what we use a lot for traditional medicines. As you know, on the islands, not many Cook Islanders wear, what we call it the 4 eyes, glasses on the island. And of course, there's a lot of reason why of that, because we use a lot of these, which is the young stem, the young middle leaves, is we use these to cleanse our eyes every full moon. Why full moon? We always look at the plants by lunar cycle. So they always use this. I mean, I do every full moons. You get about 12 of these, 2 liters of water, crush it, filter it, and you open your eye inside for 3 days. 3 days, but use new plant every time. So they also are eatable. And of course the leaf, all of the leaves is actually what we use for traditional casting on the island. Excuse me, beside the bark of a tree. But the importance of this tree really is food. There is 3 elements in our society for surviving in cyclone season and also voyaging. This product will last about 12 months. The root, it's what we put into the earth oven for about 3 days. The lifespan is 12 months. So carbohydrate, those elements, carbohydrate, proteins, and of course energy is this stuff here. They form like a yam. Put it in the earth oven, leave it there for about 4 days, and take it out. You got the taro with it, but it's a different species. It's not what you eat on the island. They call it an elephant ears, but it's huge tree. That's what they put inside the oven with actually the cord line. So that's why it's so important. So in cyclone season, they invite all villagers to harvest the cord line, and then they put it together and built a big earth oven. Literally you walk in. So it's about from there, here, there. They feed about 2 villages all up together. So it's a whole day process, meaning that you start burning the fire. It probably settle about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they all put these banana stem inside. The steams goes out, and you get a basket made out of full of these, and of course the taro, which is the carbohydrate, and they stick it in there and cover it up. So that's what they use a lot for cord lines on the island. Any questions? I'm gonna keep asking you questions so you will know about my culture. I'm not just a tour guide, I'm a research and also preservations of our culture. Please guys, come through this way. I'm sure when you go to the resort or you arrive, they actually put lace on you, but it's actually gardenia. But the important part is the flowers is actually the pollen. If you can come closer, that is the important part. You see all these look sandy stuff. That's what we use for traditional medicines here. Not for preventing. It's not for preventing, it's to cure. There is a coconut like these bottles inside the markets right now selling for that. Coral cut, mosquito bites, and any cut or irritation of your skin, we use this. How do we process this? We grated a coconut and then dump all this inside the coconut, and then leave it to ferment. Now, we do not boil treatments of any oils on this island, because if you boil it, if you ignite it with just a heat, it will burn yourself. So what we do is for fermenting it is the proper way. It doesn't smell that nice, but it does do a lot of good healing stuff. And they still sell it. You can take it to Europe, you can in a frozen area, but once the hands are warm, once it gets on your hands, you rub it, it just evaporates straight away. So that's what we use. Gardenia, there's 2 types of species on the island. One is actually French gardenia, which is that one there. It's thicker than it's actually this one here. This one's got 3 leaves, well, with flowers is about 4 or 5, and the other one is more than that. but we don't. You do get some manoi, they call it, French manoi, but it's just for the smell. It doesn't do much in terms of healing. Yes. Well, you come to the Cook Island, what do you expect? You want to see them if they're living into a thatcher's house, or you want to see these kind of things, you know, instead of the plastic looking thatches. But for us it's so important because nowadays it's very hard for my generation and also the generations behind me or in front of me having seen such a practice of actually making traditional hut on the island, especially the material. We find it hard to find all of these because of the arrivals and the impact of Christianity was so vicious. That's why they actually destroyed. The tapa making, for instance, they introduced cotton because to help what the cotton is growing through the first 19th centuries. That's why most of our tapa, the last tapa was made here, is actually in the United States. It's actually in 1885 was the last time. At this point of time, I'm setting up three women and myself. We're heading to the markets where the art still exists since ancient time. I'll tell you why. The island's called Nukuiva. They're known for Te Whenua Hanata, meanings eat humans every day. So that's why Christianity never changed the way of life there, because it's a daylight thing. I mean, it's an everyday life for them. It's called Te Whenua Hanata. It's mean we eat people every day.
So if you go, like, you don't come back.
Yeah, that's what Christianity was actually pretty much scared, you know, to go there. When you go there, they never come back, seriously. That's the only island that's still the art. And because of my research, I found out my people, and so especially my ancestor on my tribe, came from Nukuiva, which is actually, we actually from the island of Nukuiva, and also we are descendants of Tainui, New Zealand. So it's exciting. So for this one is what we call it bandanas. We make hats and mats and all of that. But the important part is, guys, it actually the leaves that we make sleeping hut. So was in the 1920 was the last sleeping hut seen on the island. 1920 the exact. If you were in New Zealand, you probably will read about a person called Te Rangi Iror, which is he's an anthropologist, came here in the 1920s and did some research about the cultural material of Aitutaki. So basically when they dry up like this, they stick actually a spear or any sharp stick in the ground, and then what they try to do is open it up so they can work on it. Literally like this, if you can, yeah. So they open up, make sure it's all flat and gotta work on it. And then
creates fire.
Ah, not yet. No, not create fire. I hope it creates fire. So you see, so it's flattened, it's flexible. So they only need this part to be about, you know, 300 mil or 150 or 200 mil. And then what they do is they skew it, eh? They skew it inside here, and they skew it about that long, yeah? And then that's what they actually put on for thatches. Now you said, oh, was palm leaves? No. Palm leaves is what we call as temporary hut. When the first people arrive on the coastal area, they make the coconut palm. But this is much more safer and also longer. The process is, once they dry up like this, they stick it into the salt water, bring it out, dry it, and then out. It's about 2 times of the process, and then they start putting on it. So the difference is with the palm leaves, it leaks, but if you skew it, they're more secure. So the another one comes next to it, another one. And then when they put it on the thatches, or they thatch it, they use 1 inch. You know how can they tell spaces? That's 1 inch. So they put the first one down the bottom, 1 inch will be climbing up. You see how thick they are? That's how, you know, it's waterproof. That's how they keep it. So for between the life expand at the coconut leaves and the bandanas leaves, this is 10 years, that is 4 years. So in about 3 years time, we're gonna replace that. So my dream is actually to have these built on this, because we haven't had for a long time. So I want to be able to show the kids and also to show visitors who we are as Aitutaki people. Today you've seen the natural beauty, but you haven't seen the rich culture of my people. Not yet, but soon will come. Soon. That's why I came back from Australia, is to research and of course to preserve. You know, no offense if you're religious person, but for us, we too much concentrate on something that is being given to us and think we are the religious person, or we are those people who follow the introduced way of life, which is the Christianity. We do have Christianity, but there's one thing I understand is we believe in the sea, we believe in the land, we believe in the same thing they worship today. We don't have respect with the sea and respect with nature today. That's the honest truth. That's why they have the two gods, is because these two things give them life. The land and the sea. They give them things, they survive for millions of years. So it's important for us to get to know or bring out our culture identity. So it's important. So any questions, guys? Come through.